Yadira Gonzalez Munoz, CEO of I Am Magazine, brings you conversations with I Am TV.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening from wherever you're watching us in the world. I am Yadira Gonzalez Munoz, your host at Conversations with I Am TV, and today we are thrilled to welcome back a truly dynamic and inspiring guest, Ouly Reymond. Ouly is a powerhouse of discipline, transformation, and high performance. As a judo world vice champion, he has proven what it takes to compete and thrive on the global stage. But his history didn't stop on the mat. With unshakable drive and a deep commitment of excellence, Ouly transitioned into the world of entrepreneurship, where he has built success across three distinct industries: health, real estate, and finance. Now, as a leadership alpha coach, Ouly integrates the wisdom, discipline, and mindset of a world-class athlete with the strategic thinking of a results-driven entrepreneur. And most recent, he's added author to his impressive list of accomplishments with his new book, The Ultimate Man. This book is more than a guide. It's a bold manifesto about reclaiming masculine strength, leadership, and purpose in a world that often questions what it truly means to be a man. In today's conversation, we'll dive deep into what inspired this message, what the alpha path really means, and how men everywhere can rise into confidence, purpose, and freedom. Let's begin by asking, what inspired you to write The Ultimate Man, and how have your experiences as a judo world vice champion shaped your vision of masculinity, leadership, and high performance?
First of all, I was not meant to be the man I am today. I often describe my journey as the ordinary man that decided or was pushed to become extraordinary, to have a very good result, to excel, especially in sport, but now also as an entrepreneur. And it's part of the journey to accept to do difficult things, to go outside of what you control, to grow and to explore your potential. And for the masculinity, I was not asking me some questions, but my behaviors or my ideas about masculinity and also about femininity led me to some conclusion that I was not knowing exactly what it is and what was waiting from me, from women, or also from other people, also in a family and from the society. And that's why I decided to go in that topic, to embrace it. And thanks to it, it led me to a better understanding of what people wait. That is not said, but it's expected. And if I can do the same parallel with my past osteopathic job, is that often patients don't tell what they are expecting, but they know it and they don't say it. And then you are the one who is in charge and who is obliged to do the right things, even if you don't know what they are waiting for.
Wow, nice, interesting. Very nice journey to discover that. In your book, The Ultimate Man, you address the theme of masculinity and leadership as an alpha man. Can you explain a little bit to us what this is about?
Mhm. Many people see the alpha as a threat or the caricature of a macho man. But authentic masculinity is not that at all. An alpha is a person who is knowing who he is, who is imposing his framework on the world instead of letting him imposed by it. An alpha does not need to apologize for existing. He embodies a raw, powerful strong nature channeled with discipline and responsibility for those he cares. And being an alpha does not mean you have to crush others. It means being a pillar for those on which leans on you, and to be a rock for the people you are in charge. Today in the society, we try to destroy this model, this good model, by glorifying weakness or indecision. And this book is an antidote to this modern castration because it claims back a true positive masculinity, a man who is providing, protecting others, but also a good role model, a person that is helping young boys to become the good guys in the future who have a thriving society.
That's right. That is very interesting because that's like a guide to the
Mhm.
young generation. And you mentioned society. So why does society try to make you believe that masculinity is toxic? And how do you plan to regain control of your identity in this case, you know?
Mhm. Because to be a strong man, to be a person who thinks for himself, to be independent, is to be an uncontrollable man. And let me be crystal clear about toxic masculinity. Toxic masculinity does not exist. Either it's toxic and it's not masculinity. Either it's masculinity and it's not toxic. Let me tell you what is truly toxic. Institutionalized fragility and acceptation of weakness, demonization of strength and self-affirmation, and permanent infantilization of man. Because the truth is that the day you are going and growing and knowing who you are, what you are standing for, what are your values, and you don't bend for the whims of a society in decline, welcome, my friend. You are a threat for the ones that want to control everything. And in your identity, it means to refuse to be domesticated and to become wild again, to have power again, and to be unshakable, whatever are the external conditions.
I like what you mentioned about getting to know yourself or going to know who you really are. And that is very important in every, it could be a man, a woman, a young person. It's always important to know who you are. And many of us, we lose that path of knowing who we are and we start becoming what the society wants us to become, which is not right. Have you always been, well, you mentioned a little bit about this before, but have you always been this alpha male, or how long did it took for you to realize to make that change and recognize it and make that internal change to become an alpha male?
You are totally right in mentioning it. I was absolutely not this alpha from the beginning. I was a beta, but I decided to embrace this path, and that's why I am perhaps a good person to lead others on this way, because some are meant or are already leaders from the beginning since they are born, and I was absolutely not. The alpha way or the alpha lifestyle is to become a leader, because a leader is the one who has responsibility. He is not following, but he is leading. And for my case, I was strong in sport. I had good result, good judo, and I was good also at school, but not very consistent with my ideas. My words were like the wind, not very strong. And that's why I was also not happy with what I was as a man. And it led me to feel not as valuable as I could be. That's why I embraced this difficult path, because you have two choices in life. Either you are nothing, not respected, and people use you, either you become someone and you are not only respected, but admired. And that's why you don't remember the gentle, nice guy. You remember only the greatest ones. For example, Napoleon or Alexander the Great. And it's because they had to face very difficult things in their life because they were conquerors. And that is something you have to have in your mind. It's easier to stay in the comfort. It's difficult to grow and to have responsibility. But think at children. Do they have responsibilities? No, they can do what they want, but they are not in charge of their own life. Someone else who say, okay, you can do it or you cannot do it. Once you are mature, once you are an adult, then you have the responsibility and you have also the choice. So as I explained also, is that you have four type of people in life. The one is the follower, and I can explain it through social media because it's very easy to explain. You have the person that is just following you, that is doing nothing, that is just consuming your content. The second is the active person. This person is liking, commenting, sometimes debating, and it's a person that is a higher rank. And then you have the leader. That is the person that is posting and inspiring people, that is shaping tomorrow's world. And after that, at the top of the pyramid, you have the leader, inspiring leader. This is the person you should be or you could be, because if I can take the analogy, if you are in a car, you have two positions. Either you are the driver, either you are the passenger. And if you are the passenger, you have no choice. You have to follow where the car is driving. And I'm sure you already experienced it during your trips. If you order a taxi, I think everybody had already decided, is he using the best way to go where I want to go, or is it using this way to have more money in his pocket? And
Exactly.
that is the case for everybody. So you should be in charge of your vehicle. You should be the driver. That means leading. And that is not an easy way, but it's something I propose to my book, The Ultimate Man, Become an Alpha Male and Build Your Empire.
I love it. Very interesting. I like what you say. How can a person, we're going to go to this theme, how can a person develop this type of quality um,
Mhm.
that we are talking about?
It all starts with one word: responsibility. Not the excuses, not the justifications, not the laments, just action. And to be an alpha, you have to build four things. And the first is your body. Get in shape, practice sport, sweat, do something very difficult because you will be proud of your body and what you achieved through it. Second is through emotional mastery, as I explained in the book. So uh, don't don't be attached to envy, greed, lust, and be in control of these emotions, and you will master your life.
Yes.
And the third is to be independent, build wealth, get intelligence, and know how to invest and to spend wisely. And fourth, and probably the most important, is to know who you are, what you are standing for, what are your values, your vision, your mission, what is your purpose in life. And that is the problem today. A lot of people are depressed. But why? It's because they don't know where they are going. They don't know what is their goal in life. And I discovered through the writing of the book God. That was not meant to be, but it's like this. And now I know that even if I lose everything, at least I have God that is providing for me for everything. And that was the best discovery I could have. So now that you have built or want to build these four important things in your life, I just can say to you, it's not a magic pill. But if you are ready to work, if you are ready to sweat, then be prepared to get dangerous, to become someone, to be admired, be respected, and also to be proud of yourself. It's easy to be a beta, it's easy to stay where you are, but at the end of your life, what you will be proud of is what you built, which challenge you took over, what, who you who you became through the journey, and not to have multiple bags or multiple experience to have discovered the world. Yes, it's interesting. Yes, I agree. And probably if you grow enough, you will have the means to discover many people, many interesting people, and the world too. But that is not the goal or the ultimate goal. It's just the reward to becoming this kind of alpha.
Very nice. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing us with this. And it's very important, like you say, the most important thing is to take the first step to say, I
Mm.
need that change. Oli, concerning the male-female relationship, you say that the man must be a solid anchor for who resists that emotional storms of the women. Can you
Mm.
explain this concept in a little bit more detail, please?
Yes, yes, for sure. But first of all, I just wanted to be really short to have an explanation on how our brain works, because it's important to understand this to after explain more in details. First of all, you have the primal brain that is the center of our life. It's the survival one. If you are threatened, then it means that you have to flee or you have to fight, you have to find a solution just to stay alive. Then you have above the limbic system that is emotion. The emotions come from this part of the brain. And then above, you have the cortical system that makes us take decisions. So it's rationalize, analyze, etc. And women have this tendency to rely more biologically on the emotion. And that's why it's important. So due to the biology, the hormones, you have more variation in your cycle during 30 days than we are. We are straight like this. And women are more like waves. And that's why a man, an alpha man, understands a woman and knows when to bother her, when to play with her, when to be consistent, when to be the ground for her. This man embrace the pain, the up and down of a woman, what comes with her. And even, for example, if you have 99 problems in your life and your woman is coming with one big, you take time for her, you you are there for her, and you welcome what she has to say, and you listen, you listen, you listen, you listen
Which is
until
very difficult for men sometimes
and
to listen.
yes, until she feels asleep, and then yeah, you did your job, and you can feel asleep too. That is a man.
Oh, wonderful. I like that. Regarding seduction, how can a man charm a woman? We are talking about this. So, how can a man charm
Mhm.
a woman?
Yeah, as I did with you. I like I like to play, but let me explain you. I was not this funny guy, and it's more difficult for me in English for sure than in French. And as a discover of life, I am curious, and I think it's one of the most important quality you should have to be curious in your life, to know what is the detail or how it works, or not only in relationships, but I don't know, in your work or on the road, etc., in sport, how do they make points, etc. When you are interested, curious, life becomes a game, and then you can also realize some topics and say, okay, I learned this in this field, for example, for me in sport, and I can apply it in my business, or I learned this from my past osteopathic job, and I can use it for my relationship. And once you can realize some topics, life begins to be very uh, game, and you like to play. So to come back to women, it's to like to play with them, like to be just yourself, truly, fully, 100% authentic. And then you don't care if you are rejected, and in most of the case, it will be the case. But you are truly you, and you know that it's not because someone is not wanting you, that it's against your values, but everybody has his or her own um, preferences. And I like to play, I like to be with people, to be surrounded, to give joy. Because remember, the most important thing in life, why people like you, it's not because you are smart, it's not because you have money, it's because you make them feel good. And how do you make them feel good? It's by making them laugh, or making them important, by making them feel that, yes, they feel good just because they are surrounded by you. And sometimes I say just something to people that are making me laugh in the way I am practicing it. So I am at the same time the stand-upper and the spectator, follower of what I am saying. And when I am entering in that state, I am truly irresistible, because I laugh of myself explaining something at someone who sometimes is not laughing, but I laugh on me. And to have this capacity of laughing of yourself is really attractive, because the person that you are speaking with knows that yeah, you will not be hurt by what she's saying.
I like what you said. Thank you for sharing. It is very important. First of all, the first step, I believe, is to get to know yourself, to get to know your inner self. And the moment that you start knowing your inner self and loving yourself, you're able to give this to others. And when I'm not saying men, but when men, women, or anyone lack this self-love or self-knowing who we are, we lack always something. And that's why I'm coming to not only men, I know women too, but men often lack confidence, whether it's in seduction or otherwise. So what advice can you give on this subject? Because I know it has to come from inside. We have to make that change. And confidence also begins from making that change inside of you. So tell us a little bit, what advice can you give us about this?
Mhm. So the first point, especially for men, if you want to seduce, is to have control of yourself, and to know who you are, and not be hurt by others, or the feelings of on the words they are saying about you. To have just to stand firm, and not chase but attract. And people, or especially women, feel when you are chasing them, and that's why they repel this energy. The,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
real man is attracting, not because he wants, but because he is. That is the real difference. So, my advice for you and your audience, the thing you can do, and do it every day, is to have a sheet of paper and write all the promises you take in your head. We all have our inner voice. And if I say, okay, today I will do sport, okay, did I do it at the end of the day? Yes or no? And just by writing, it's not to do, but to make it conscious. The more awareness you have, the more ability you will have to take the next step, that is acting. And at the beginning, it will be difficult. Say, oh, but I'm not worthy of that. It's too difficult for me. I was there. But now, when I say something, I am more able to respect it. And when you respect your word, then you are more valuable. Also for not only for you, but also for others. And let me explain to you one of my story. A person was with me and said, "Okay, normally we should do or sign a contract." And I said, "Yes, we can sign a contract, but you know, if a person wants to fuck you, then she will find the only thing she can in the paragraph you missed, and you will lose. I prefer to rely on my words, and when I shake hand, then it's more worth than a contract, because it means that if I need to respect my voice, to lose money, to lose all the money I have, I will do it, because my word matters more than money. And when you come at that level, you are a diamond for people. As you see in today's world, there are not too many people that can stay true to their words. People change at every moment. They are like the wind, blowing here, blowing there, and not not reliable. You cannot rely on people. Only a few, and when you find one, either a man or a woman, you name it, then you find a gold mine.
I love it. You find a gold mine. I love it. Ouly, on your book, you talk about the path of Alpha as the path to independence, especially the financially. What
Mhm,
do you want to say with this? What do you mean with this?
mhm, mhm. You can either rely on your work, on your job, and potentially lose everything, or you can rely on yourself, be an entrepreneur, and that is difficult. I don't want to push people to remove everything in their life. But the true alpha, as I define it in the book, is truly independent. That means that he knows that potentially he can lose everything. He doesn't count on the government to protect himself. He protects himself first. So he has some savings that can help him to go in another country or to escape if there is a threat. And that's why he's building wealth. He's saving and investing wisely. And that's why I encourage people first to invest in themselves, because it's something that you cannot lose. You hold it and keep it for the rest of your life. Even, for example, if my company will crash now, at least it's all what I learned that is with me. And let me share with you a small story that you know from Donald Trump. He lost quite everything. He had billions. He lost billions. He came approximately zero or something like that. And now he has again billions. And why is that? It's because when you lose, it's not that you lose everything. You have the mindset, you have the experience, you have the knowledge that is there, that is helping you to build your future success. That means that if you already have been successful once, you know the path how to become successful again.
And that is very nice that you say it's really very interesting, and it's not only it's the path of life, and
Mhm.
we should not call it a failure, but it's a lesson how to do something better from the last time you did. You already know I made these mistakes before, so this next time that I'm going to redo or do it again, I'm going to do it better because I already know what I did wrong before. And today I have more knowledge and knowledge of what are the following steps that I can make to become once again successful with what I do. That is very interesting. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing. You also speak
Yeah.
on your book about on the path, of the ultimate man, and which is very interesting, is you talk about the relationship with God. And
Mm.
what has this brought you? Because I'm also a Christian, I'm also a believer. I know I've been through a lot, and what I've been holding myself to be strong is on the faith I have with God, but not everybody has this. And sometimes we're forgetting about this too, so especially men. And while you talk about the relationship with God, this is very important also, I believe.
Mhm. Mhm. Um, just can share my story. So I was this little guy, and I lost my hair. Was 10 years old, and I was the suffer pain. People were saying bad things about me, or were flashing me just because I was different. So I suffered. I was humiliated too, and despite of that, I was angry not against God, but against the external conditions. Why
Society.
were people so bad to me? Why were they insulting me? And why do I explain that? It is because we all encounter that situation in a way or in another. That means that everybody can have the reaction he wants following what happens. Either you say, okay, I am a victim, it's not normal, and you cry, or you say, okay, it is like this, and you grow, you try to find solutions, and you are going to the light. That is the first thing. And the other part is during the writing of the books. Okay, the ultimate man. What does it mean? So I spoke of it physically, I spoke of it psychologically, mentally, emotionally, financially, and also the role as a father, as a companion in life. But then I say, there's something missing. And that's why it led me to say, okay, you want to be really holistic, then you also have to speak about spirituality. And how do you embody this ultimate man? Because I speak of it, I also try. It doesn't mean I am the ultimate man or I am this alpha. In some way, I try. It's a way to improve yourself. It's a way to become better. It's a way to understand others better. It's a way to forgive, and that is what is the path of the alpha. And that's why it led me to discover God again and to make it my foundation of my life. That means I put God first. And if it means that I have to shut down my company for Him, I will do it. But I try now to align also my thoughts, my action, my behavior, my attitudes to match what I learn. Because it's not to be a Christian, oh, I am a Christian, I have faith, etc. No, is how do you embody it in your own life when you are in your toughest moment, when you are betrayed, when someone is backstabbing you? Do you have the courage to not be angry, to say thank you for what you did for me because you make me learn or you make me um, having more love.
Knowledge.
And on the opposite side, that doesn't mean that you have to accept everything. And I discussed just today with a priest about that. That doesn't mean because you are a Christian, you have to accept everything, but you also have to defend your territory. Because if someone is coming with other value and you say, oh, you say nothing, at the same time, you accept some other values that are not matching God's values. That means that sometimes you have to take out your swords, and that is my warrior spirit that express. You have to take control and take back your power to say, no, that is not correct. I cannot accept it. Because if you accept, then you lose your values too. So that is very important to understand and also to differentiate. It's not because you love or you love everyone, then that you have to accept everything. That is the difference.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. It's very interesting what you say because it is wonderful. Oli, for you, what is the best investment to make to live in abundance?
Mhm. To live in abundance, there is a lot of ways.
Sure.
You have it's easy to say it, but you have an ocean of possibility. The first is to have the good mindset, to be fully responsible of your life. The day you begin to be on control of your car, of your destiny, of your destination, this day is the day you become unbeatable because you know that even if you failed, you made a mistake. So how do you correct it? By crying, by staying down, or to get up and to say, what can I do to improve myself, change, get out of the hole? And that is the kind of mentality. When you have it, then you are irresistible and you can live in abundance. And to be totally honest and true with you, one of the best investments you can make is finally to invest in you, in your skills, in your capacities, especially as a man. Become stronger, go in the fitness, mm, build something, use your hands, your brain, and then you will feel proud of yourself at the end of the day.
Interesting. Very, very, very happy that you're sharing this because it's a very nice theme. It's a very nice topic to speak about, especially among men, because mostly men do not talk about this, and it is very interesting. Thank you for sharing. And before we close this interview, I have one last question I want to ask you. I know this book is clearly linked with your coaching. Can you explain what results you can offer thanks to your expertise on this topic?
Mhm. First of all, let me make a small adjustment. You speak about results, I speak about transformation. That is the
Transformation.
difference.
Yeah.
No, it's just to explain because yes, transformation is result, but you have results and you have transformation. When people follow me, they are not only following a coach, they are following a person who has the qualities, the skills, led them to the hardest way to the top. So I help people to become strong physically, mentally, through my past experience as a vice champion of the world of judo master, and I help them also in the entrepreneurship journey to make more money, and I shape also the mindset. For example, just two or three examples very shortly. I help people to become stronger because I was also challenged by one of my coaches, Ayrton, to go in the cold lake. So when they said it, I said, "Oh, I don't want, but I will do. I will go with you." And we were in the cold lake, and I was helping him to support it. Because of my ability to support pain, I was not only the coach, that normally it's an upside down relationship, but I was at the same level. I was the coach supporting and suffering with him at his side. That is the difference with me. Then I have Louis, for example. The parents said, "Oh, but he's always happy to begin one program, but doesn't go until the end." And one day, he sent me a message and said, "Okay, Uli, I know it's your word, but today it's Saturday, it's 10 a.m., and I decided to do by myself some sport." And there I say, okay, that means that not only he did it, but internally he processed, he rewired his brain to do it by himself. I don't want to be an help for a long-lasting relationship. I am there to produce results, to give exceptional results, and then let the person go on his way. And the third, and more importantly, it's the value and the change I operate in people's brain. And the first things I teach to people is to shake hands properly. So with the right hand, with a firm handshake. And one of the person I coached then was meeting another one. It was a young boy, and he said to the other one, "Oh no, you don't have to shake with your left hand. You shake with your right hand, because the left hand is the hand of the traitor." Is exactly what I explained to him. That means that not only when you are growing and you are taking a leadership role and responsibility, you are growing, but you are teaching, and your teaching are going deeper and deeper in the society for years, etc. That is the alpha way. This is the alpha part.
Thank you so much, Oli. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing all this and sharing about your book. It is wonderful, and the transformation and results that you have created with your clients. Yes, there's the book. Thank you, Oli, for joining us today and sharing your profound wisdom, the experience, and the bold vision for modern masculinity and personal mastery. As we close this transformative conversation, one thing is abundantly clear. Ouly Reymond's journey from world-class athlete to multi-industry entrepreneur, leadership alpha coach, and now an author is not just inspiring, it's a living blueprint for what's possible when you lead with purpose, when you lead with discipline and unwavering belief. So his message in The Ultimate Man is a wake-up call for everyone ready to rise, whether in their identity, in their relationships, business, or the spiritual connection. It's about reclaiming your power, redefining success on your own terms, and living a life anchored in integrity, clarity, and bold action. Isn't that right, Oli?
Yeah, you perfectly nailed it. Thank you very much. Wonderful way to end this interview. Thank you very much for this opportunity. Once again, Yadira, it was a real pleasure for me.
Thank you so much. And for the viewers, if you are ready to stop settling and start living at your highest level, mentally, emotionally, financially, and spiritually, Oli is the guide you've been looking for. So we will include all the details to connect with him and access his book in the comments in the program. And don't wait, your next level is calling you. So thank you for spending this time with us. We'll see you on the next episode of Conversations with IAM TV. And until then, stay inspired, stay intentional, and always move forward as the most empowered version of yourself. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.